Welcome to this week's OneDoor Studios update. And guys, for me, this is an immensely important update. I know for all of us here it is. And we'll tell you why in a second here. But we have with us Jeremy and Brittany Locke from Aerial Recovery. You guys may know that one of OneDoor Studios' missions with these film projects is to cripple the human trafficking industry. And we have partnered with groups like the National Center on Sexual Exploitation, and we've been looking for other partners so we can really get kids prevented from getting trafficked, rescued, and then rehabilitated. And then Jeremy and Brittany are on the rescue side, and this is really where the rubber meets the road. And I'm just really excited to have these guys with us today. So welcome, Jeremy and Brittany.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Super excited. So, we have these funds allocated on the post side of distribution of these films. We're donating 25% of the producers' net profits to stop human trafficking, but that's a ways down the road. That's after the film is the development is finished, pre-production, production, post-production, and then distribution, and then the funds start coming in. That's a long time to wait. So we want our investors and our fans to be able to do something right now to help cripple the human trafficking industry. And that's why we have Jeremy and Brittany on board. These guys do some amazing stuff. So I don't want to steal their thunder. So Jeremy, Brittany, please tell our audience what it is that you do.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And what you just touched on right there is absolutely true. It is an emergency. This human trafficking is $150 billion a year industry. There's 49.6 million people right now that are enslaved, and a quarter of those are children. So what we do at Aerial Recovery is we use prior military like myself and prior first responders, and we train them and redeploy them out to go do anti-human trafficking missions. We go do undercover operations. Where we're literally sitting in front of traffickers, pretending to be traffickers ourselves, to working in partnership with local governments in other countries, and really taking these people down and then doing the rescue operations so we can pass those survivors off to aftercare. And we're tracking in over 10 countries right now. We have operations that we could go in tomorrow and start conducting. And there are just stacks of cases that these countries reach out to us to come in and go and help them stop these people who are abusing children, who are abusing adults, who are doing some of the most evil things you could possibly imagine to people every single day. So, I mean, you're right. While we're so blessed to be working with you guys and be in partnership with you, but it literally, we can't wait. We got to go help those people who are currently in prison.
Right. Well, it was about a dozen years ago that I was introduced to human trafficking awareness at a convention. And I'm like, oh, what is human trafficking? And then, I kept hearing about human trafficking for years afterwards, bringing awareness. But for most people, awareness about human trafficking doesn't mean much because people don't know how to get involved. And so that's why this call is so important, because there is a way that people can get involved at the end of this conversation. But I want to get a little background on Brittany. Why did you guys start this mission?
Great question. And you're right. I want to just finish what you were saying on the three parts to the solution to ending trafficking is awareness, actual undercover rescue operations, and then aftercare. We've got to stop. Oh, I'm so excited about what y'all are doing with the movie, because in order to stop people from going into the sex trafficking vortex, which is so difficult to get people out of, you have to have that awareness, not just for the people who are falling into it, but even people who are accidentally promoting it and not even understanding that they are. And we'll get into that a little bit later. So it was a movie that changed my life at 12 years old. And that's why I'm, again, really excited about what y'all are doing, because at 12, I was made aware of what the heck sex trafficking was. It broke my brain. It made me obviously just really upset. And from 12 on, I dedicated my life to finding a real solution to this issue. And when we talk about these big numbers, it can seem so overwhelming that why even try if it's so prevalent? Like, I can't really put a dent into it. But for us, we have committed our lives to this. And know that if we worked every single day of our life to only save one, it would still be worth it. So that movie showed me the evils of trafficking, and I started going on mission trips all over the world to the places that this was happening, and my heart just kept breaking harder and harder. And it was really God leading me into getting into real estate that would help stop why parents were selling their kids into trafficking because they had no other opportunities. So it was really interesting. Like, I was into real estate development, but until one of my projects got annihilated by a hurricane, I didn't know how much the scene of a disaster created a hotspot for traffickers. And 2 years after the first hurricane and major disaster I was part of, when I really launched the nonprofit, I met Jeremy, and Jeremy came into the field with me. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's such an emergency that it's really easy to get frustrated when people don't perform well and like understand it's an emergency and take it seriously, because these are babies living in the most hellish life. I can't imagine a life filled with more suffering than this. And they're the innocent. They're supposed to be protected. And when I saw Jeremy in action, I was like, wait a minute. Do you have more friends? Because veterans were the missing piece.
Yes.
They're so good at this austere environment. They're so trained for it. Their ability to conduct missions and stay on track without worrying about their built-in safety, all the things. And so we started inviting his friends and inviting his fellow comrades. But there was one big missing piece that we saw, because we'd really fallen in love after that first mission, where we realized how aligned we were and what we want to do with our lives. And I watched him go through the retirement process. And in that, he goes from being, 20 years Army veteran, 10 years in the Special Forces, this renowned hero, to coming in through the retirement process. He got all these labels and then told he's disabled and then handed pills. This person who's incredibly qualified for saving lives and stopping evil now is like a dead person because he's like out of it on these pills. And I'm like, no. So what we realized is there is a level of trauma that they've experienced. There's healing that needs to take place so that they don't get knocked out of the game. Aerial recovery takes veterans who are struggling, repurposes them as humanitarian special operators. And in my experience so far, because we've rescued over 7,800 people in the last 18 months, between disasters and anti-trafficking, the ones that were struggling when finding that new purpose and mission in their life, they're so grateful that there's still need for them, that they get after it, unlike anybody you could ever try to incentivize. I mean, they're natural servants, they're natural like leaders and heroes, but when they were in a dark place and they had that life breathed back into them, again, there's no stopping them.
Wow, you guys are getting me fired up.
Well, it's so inspiring to be here with you view, and I know you represent people that aren't on camera. Probably isn't safe to be on camera, so they're not ID'd by people who would like to take you down. I don't have any real questions for you. I just wanted to express our gratitude for you, for you being here. We have 6 children, my wife and I, and 4 of them are girls, and there's a kind of a protection there of just wanting to make sure they're safe all the time.
Yeah.
That's why the training's so important, because there are so many people that get who doesn't get fired up about this. These are, especially when it comes to children being abused, and the stories you hear, the darkness, they are all true and then some. I can tell you that it's a very dark place to get into. So yeah, people want to, but once you really start going in there, and you have to act like you're a bad guy, and you have to act like you are into these images of kids and all these terrible things. And, that's a persona you have to play, and you're sitting across from these terrible people, and it just to not reach across and go after them is really hard, or not associate these images you're looking at with your children is very hard. So it's not everybody's cut out for it. So that's why the training is so important. And also understanding that when you go into these countries, like what we do especially with our background in special forces and the Green Berets, is we like to work by, with, and through populations of their own country to allow them and give them the skills and the materials and the ability to go rescue their own people. Because it's not always the case where we need our own operators to go out there and do the rescue missions. We can do the force multiplier methodology and go in and actually train other people to do that work inside their country too. So it's a very, I mean, there's so much involved in doing these operations, but that's what we've been doing, and that's what we do. And we thank you so much for the support and reaching out, because you hear this all the time from people that are nonprofit such as we are, is you allow us to go do the mission. You are part of that force multiplication method. And if you're sitting there thinking, how can I get involved? Help us go rescue these kids and these people. That's the best way you can get involved, because honestly, going out and doing the missions and conducting the rescues, for us, that's the easy part. The hard part for us is to get the money and the donations to go out and conduct the rescues. That's where we find it more difficult. We've got the force. We've got the people that want to go out there and go rescue these people. What we need to do is we need to scale. And what we're doing is we're scaling a force for good to go out there and rescue people who need it the most.
Yeah. And on that note, I want to give our folks here an opportunity to help you guys. Something that's not way down the road after Calculator comes out in theaters, but something you can do right now. So you guys have some specific needs that I want to mention. You guys have this, you actually fly drones over borders sometimes to watch where traffickers are trafficking kids, but the drones don't go far enough. They don't have a long enough range. And so you guys are looking at getting another drone that will be able to fly 15 kilometers, be up in the air for 50 minutes or more, to be able to surveil with infrared cameras, traffickers, trafficking kids
at night.
At nighttime in any weather kind of thing. So there's a need for a drone. The drone that you're looking for right now is a DJI Matrice enterprise drone, which is about $25,000. And I know there are some investors here that's easy for them to do. And so we want to invite you guys to how can they contact you? I know there's an online portal, which we're putting up the link for right now, but how might they contact you directly if they wanted to just, contact and say, hey, how else can we help? How might they contact you?
Yes. And please, I mean, we are serious about this. If you want to contact me, the best way, contact me, Locke, LOCKE at aerialrecovery.org.
Okay.
And you send a message to me, and I will get back to you, and we'll start being a force for good. Any way you want to get involved, I'll help you get involved.
Okay, so that's for the person who has that kind of cash on hand. There's also to rescue one child costs on average about how much money?
It's only $2,500.
Okay, $2,500 to rescue a child. And so they can go on your website, and there's a portal there. You can click, either the donation amount, or you can type in your own amount and give the donation there. You can become a monthly donor for these guys on their website. Guys, I'm doing it, is what we want to do.
I just want to say to our investors, hey guys, it's possible you don't have thousands of money in the bank that you can give towards it.
Yep.
Like we say in China, when I used to live there, many hands makes light work. So if you can only give $25 or $100, that it all adds up, and it makes a huge difference. And so that's why we're sharing it with all of you.
Yep. So this is actually a dual purpose. You're helping save veterans' lives, because we know how the suicide rate for veterans is so high. So you're helping saving their lives by giving them purpose again, while saving children as well. And this is directly where the rubber meets the road, guys. I have never been more excited about a group of people.
Well, we really appreciate it, and that's really what our monthly donors are called, force multipliers. And what we mean by that is it just keeps compounding that positive impact, because I don't want to just throw money at problems. I want it to just boom, 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 boom. I mean, we have partners in aftercare called Free a Girl that takes the survivors, if they so choose, and actually put them, if they want to, either through law school or get them to become police women that sit with victims and get them to confess, so that we can rescue even more people. So it's healing veterans to save lives, to then repurpose the victims, the survivors, into taking down more traffickers. Like, how do we keep this?
Oh, wow.
This boom, 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 boom. Like,
Full circle.
think there's purpose in every single piece of it, and restoration and redemption. And this is how we do it. And then, of course, with you guys on the awareness side, that is the other missing piece. And so again, I don't ever like just throwing money at a problem. Like, how do we solve this problem? And that's why we invest in veterans to do rescues, to then help redeem, to keep doing more rescues. It's so cool.
You guys are an inspiring couple. And you guys have any more questions for them? I think we've inspired ourselves and our viewers enough to cause people just to go and act and to make a difference.
I would love to leave you with one of the most impactful quotes to me as I was talking to some of our group that is just constantly doing rescues. And I'm like, how do we really stop this? And one of the leaders said, Brittany, evil will rise when good men and women choose to do nothing.
Yep.
And so if it's $5, if it's a drone, if it's supporting the film, whatever it is that you can do, everybody can do something. And do you want to look back on your life and say, I did nothing? If this is the kind of cause that's resonating with you, dive deep into it. There's so much need. We really want to encourage you to get involved any way that's resonating with you.
Yep. Awesome, guys. So once again, we are partnering with you guys on the recovery side. We're partnering with NCOC on the prevention side, and we haven't yet nailed down our Jason, what is it called? Sorry,
Aftercare.
The aftercare partner. But we are actively looking. So we want to be a holistic approach to this, not just stop it, but prevent it, stop it, and recovery. So thanks so much, guys, for joining us today. You guys are a blessing to the world, and hope this inspired you, and all our viewers out there. So that's all for today. God keep you safe.
Thank you.
Bless you guys, and have an awesome day. Well, the links are in the description, and links are on and right beneath there in the video as well.